Death of the Penguin is a pretty chilling novel by Andrei Kurkov. I'll be honest, going into reading this book, the thing that hooked me onto it was the fact there was a penguin involved. Penguins are like in my top 5 favourite animals, okay?
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
And this book is... I don't know how to describe it. It's the kind of book I read. It is a very human book. It's about a person going through their life and the challenges they are facing due to their decisions and actions. And it's described as a black comedy, and I guess I would call it that. It's comical in some aspects, but it's comical in the way that, wow, this is tense and scary and depressing. At points, it's very weird to say that. I had initially thought, oh, maybe this is going to be a thriller. You know, obviously I read a crime book recently. I didn't really enjoy it all that much, but I thought, okay, this will be another thriller for me to give a go to. This book isn't a thriller. It's a very slow burn. I won't lie. I was about 30 pages in, and it was at that point where it sort of started going somewhere for me. To be honest, it wasn't until about 50, 60 pages in where I was like, okay, I'll commit to finishing this book. This book is 230 pages, so I was a fair way deep into the book before I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm getting this. I'm getting into this. So, you know, do keep that in mind if you ever pick up this book. It is a very slow burn. This book is currently part of Waterstones' Books for Ukraine offering. I didn't get this from Waterstones. I bought it elsewhere. Then I walked into a Waterstones and saw it. But I believe they're giving the profits from the book to Ukraine, which is actually a pretty good thing for Waterstones to do, being a former employee of Waterstones and having my own opinions on Waterstones. Now, the book in itself follows Victor, who is a aspiring author. He is a man who wanted to become an author, and he was trying to sell a short story, and he ends up writing obituaries for this newspaper. And I don't want to reveal too much more than that, but starting to write these obituaries for this newspaper, he has unwittingly led himself into this life where he is, you know, trapped in it. He doesn't know the outcomes of what he's doing, and he doesn't understand the full extent of what signing on to this job is. And that's the best way I can describe it. There's also his penguin, Misha, who appears a lot throughout the book, and I love Misha. His story in itself has its own arc, and it kind of parallels Victor's story throughout, and it shows their relationship, and it describes it as a blood tie at one point, and I'm like, yes, it feels like that in a way. And there's a whole host of side characters throughout this book who are very endearing at different parts and also just despicable. There's some endearing ones and some despicable ones. Some you're going to hate and some you're going to love. And I quite like that. I love that it's sort of built this cast around Victor as a character, because as the protagonist of the book, he is not the most compelling part of this book, but there's a reason for that, and it kind of plays out through the book. And I'll be honest, the ending of this book threw me for a complete 180 turn. I was expecting this book to have a certain trajectory. I was 3/4 of the way through the book, and I was like, oh, well, what are they going to do now? And then as I got through that last quarter, bit by bit, it was like, wait, what? Okay, next step. Okay, what is this? And the next step's like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And the next step, I was like, I wasn't expecting that. My one qualm is that the ending comes very fast, to be honest. That last quarter, I think, is very well crafted, but as you get to the end of that final quarter, it very quickly changes and becomes one thing. And I loved the use of a twist at the end. However, I felt it came a little bit too fast with not enough foreshadowing, if you will. There was some, but there were certain aspects of it where it did lack foreshadowing, and it almost felt like there was some deus ex machina towards the end for the resolution, which is a bit of a shame because, like I said, the first 60 pages, so what is that, like 20-something% of the book. It was a slow burn. Then that middle part, I really got into it because it became very much about the interpersonal relationships that Victor had. And then for it to kind of take this, like at the very end, rush something, which I think with an extra 10 to 20 pages could have really built to something really big, this big crescendo. I feel like it could have used that. But saying that, it might be a reflection of Victor as a character himself, and his writing style, because I'll be honest, throughout the book you read a lot of the obituaries that Victor writes, and frankly they are very beautifully written. Kurokov definitely, knew what he was doing when he was writing obituaries. I should maybe research and see if he's ever written them before. I don't know how you tell if someone's written obituaries before, but it had that ending that was a little bit too fast for me. Settings wise, it was great. It's set in mid-90s Ukraine, so kind of post-Soviet era Ukraine. It is showing obviously the Mafia was involved. It's showing these very different circumstances. You see people in a very young country, something that does sometimes happen in these very new young countries, and it shows the plight of many of the people there. It shows the different attitudes of people in different parts of the country, and by parts I mean like class, essentially. The book does indirectly speak a lot about class, which I like. I love a book that is very class conscious, and it, I don't want to spoil the ending because it kind of plays into it, but I recommend this if you don't mind a slow burn. If you're the kind of person who really struggles to get into a book unless it grabs you right from the beginning, and I understand, our attention spans are getting shorter. If I'm on TikTok, you should follow my TikTok by the way, and it's like longer than 15 seconds and it's not grabbed me, I am swiping. And it's a similar situation with books where the book usually needs to grab me, but I was like, I'll give it a chance simply for the penguin. I'm glad I did give it the chance. I just feel like I don't give star ratings to books. I don't give ratings. I've made a video about that. You can watch that here somewhere. But if I were to rate it, I would say it was good to very good, but not great, which is a shame. I'd say it's in the very good category, and I felt if the ending, in my opinion, was slightly slower, I would have put it in the great category, because I love reading books from authors of various backgrounds and different places. That's the whole purpose of this channel, and I wish this would have given me that little bit of, just a little bit of a tease towards the end of the ending, instead of throwing me for a loop, which is in itself its own thing, and understandably so. Throwing someone for a loop in your book is, wow, okay, that could be a great thing to do, but I do feel like it needed that. It needed the slow burn at the end when the slow burn was at the beginning. And I think that's the biggest thing I could say about this book. That the slow burn was in the wrong place, and had the slow burn been at the end, I would have liked it significantly more. So I just found out there's a sequel to this book, so I will read that, and it may help me come to terms with the ending, which I felt was rushed. But now that I know there's a sequel, I'm going to read that, and okay, maybe that will make me feel more at ease with the ending of this book. Okay, back to me. Now, if you've read Death and the Penguin, even, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to find out. If you've read any other of Andrei Kurkov's books, let me know in the comments down below. And check out the Waterstones Books for Ukraine collection, I guess. I might check out a couple more of them. It's surprisingly a very good thing that they're doing. Again, this is my personal opinions. But yeah, let me know if you've read the book, comment down below. Let me know if you are going to read the book, and if you've got any other books by maybe Ukrainian authors, and also Central Asian authors, because obviously this book does mostly concentrate on Asia, this channel, and I want some more Central Asian authors. I know Ukraine is in Central Asia, but it's closer to Central Asia than the UK is, I suppose? Let me know in the comments down below. Hey, remember to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family member, and hey, I hope you read a great book today about penguins. They're like little people in suits.